HDFC's Deepak Parekh expects the central bank to ease rates by the end of the year. Speaking exclusively to me at the sidelines of the AIMA Awards, Parekh said 5.5% growth is in fact achievable this fiscal. He hopes that the government will go ahead and open up railways and the defence sector for FDI. The cabinet has taken that decision in a meeting that just concluded. He also spoke about raising the foreign investment limit in HDFC Bank, which has been pending for the longest time, forcing the bank out of the MSCI index, and also for the first time talking about the education foray. Listen in.
Reducing the SLR by 50 basis points adds a lot of liquidity into the system, 40,000 crores. When there is excess liquidity, there's automatically a drop in interest rates. Money is available slightly cheaper. Banks are looking whom to lend to, and there's competition. So excess liquidity means softening of interest rates.
But do you see banks following through?
I think banks will follow. I think banks will follow, and I think the governor has made it clear that he feels that the SLR is a little high in India. And in one of his statements I did read that he mentioned that. And so I won't be surprised if in future monetary policies he still keeps tweaking
the
SLR. I think unless the inflation number comes down, it is very difficult for him to bring interest rates down.
5.5% GDP growth rate for FY15, the Reserve Bank says that's achievable on the back of what you've seen as far as the business confidence returning, sentiment is concerned. Do you believe that 5.5% is achievable?
I think 5.5% is achievable. I think you may see a slight decrease in interest rates in the last quarter of this year, maybe by the fag end of the calendar year. And I think it's too much to say that he won't do anything till early next year. Depending, oil prices have been subdued a bit, but the rupee has come down today sharply.
Almost at a 5-month low.
Almost at 5-month low. So, there are these issues.
So what's your prognosis for the currency, sir?
Excess liquidity also causes inflation. Excess liquidity in the market does create inflationary pressures. So I think he's taken a very good move. It is a superb step by the governor to reduce SLR and leave the interest rates untouched. I think he would do that at least for one more quarter.
Speaking of policy action, the cabinet is likely to clear FDI in defence, hike the cap to 49%, as well as railways. This is an area that you have worked very closely with, an idea whose time had perhaps long come, but finally we are going to see some movement. Do you see significant private sector investment coming in now that the government has cleared this?
I think you will see investment in railways. There are these big foreign companies also which want to set up manufacturing units.
Diesel locomotives specifically.
Diesel locomotives, and various times tenders have come out. Short list has been made, awards have been given, and then nothing has happened all these years. And so you will see one or two big boys from Europe or the US coming with a massive investment, which will improve employment, which will increase employment possibilities also. And we are 50 years behind railways compared to some modern countries. Some modern railways you have in China and Japan and others. We have a lot of catching up to do in railways. And I'm glad, the government has opened up the railway infrastructure sector.
We're almost approaching 100 days of the Modi government. Are you satisfied with what has been done so far? And in terms of policy action, what is it that you would like to see now being addressed on a priority basis? There's a lot of buzz on what the Prime Minister is going to announce on the 15th of August, the financial inclusion mission and so on and so forth. But in terms of real action, are you satisfied with what's been done so far?
No, I think I'm satisfied. The budget was indicative that the government is definitely desirous of how to ease doing business in India. And the finance minister did announce a number of steps. Minor steps have been taken, and there would be 30-40 minor steps the government has taken to improve the ease of business, including advanced ruling for domestic companies for taxation, including streamlining the transfer pricing tax, And you will see transfer pricing was one of the biggest headaches of foreign companies, of IT and BPO companies. And I think he has taken a cue from other countries, and you will see that transfer pricing cases, all pending cases would be removed, would go away. So I think he has done, they have done, I think they've done very well. I'm personally a bit disappointed at the insurance, the way the insurance bill has gone. Because how many years, insurance is not a holy cow. It is not strategically important. It gives protection to people. We need foreign investment into India. 49% with Indian management and control would have got minimum 5 to 10 billion over the next few years. And there was no logical reason for it to be referred again.
Well, it hasn't been yet referred to a standing committee.
Indications are that
or they might call a joint session of parliament.
But I get a feel that if a select committee, it goes to the select committee, we are at least seeing a 6-month delay at least, assuming that the members of the select committee come to a conclusion, a unanimous conclusion. So I think that has been a bit disappointing, and this is only political maneuvering. And
is that your fear, sir, that once again political maneuvering, which we saw under the UPA where the BJP was obstructionist, do you believe that the legislative logjam is likely to continue even though they enjoy majority in the Lok Sabha?
I hope you are wrong. I hope we are able to see. I think some amount of compromise may have to be done by BJP with the Congress. Like the bone of contention we know is the leader of opposition. The Congress doesn't have 10% seats, so there is no leader. I think if some give and take is there, I think we will be able to see some progress.
But even on the GST, sir, are you getting any sense of optimism that we are likely to move forward? I mean, the Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister today has held a press conference. He's raising concerns about the GST and the current structure of the GST. Do you believe that the GST
I think GST will happen. It is a prime, topmost agenda of Mr. Jaitley. He has committed to all of us in this budget, and he will see that it happens. I think it will be priority number one. And, you must give them time. The last month has been heavy schedule of Parliament. Every day, long hours. And so no one from the government, they all have been busy attending and answering questions in Parliament. Now that we are seeing the end of this Parliament session next week, you will see government machinery working in a faster and efficient way after 15th August announcement.
What are foreign investors telling you, Mr. Parekh? While FII flows have been very, very strong, and that's a reflection in what is happening on the stock market, but is FDI still cautious about the India story?
FDI is worried about approval processes. FDI wants single window clearances. FDI investors like manufacturing companies want a quick answer, yes or no. They don't want to wait endlessly and go to multiple ministries, multiple organizations to get single approval, and that is what is hurting the FDI investment. But I must say today, as we speak, foreign investors, both the FII and FDI, are much more confident about India's future than some of my colleagues in industry.
Let me ask you, since you're talking about FDI and approvals, the FIPB process, I'm given to understand that you are going to make a fresh representation to the government on allowing you to hike the FDI ceiling. Has there been any progress on that front?
What do you think I'm doing all day today in Delhi?
So have you made any headway, Mr. Parekh?
Well, we are hoping that that fungibility will happen of FII, FDI, and we are hoping that the law ministry takes a slightly liberal view, at least in banking sector, if not in strategically important sectors like defense.
My final question, sir, I understand that the education foray is pretty much on the cards now, and Gurgaon is probably going to be where the first school comes up. Can you share your thoughts with us on that?
Well, it's a pilot project. It's an experiment. We always felt that when we started HDFC, the objective was to give middle class, lower middle class people housing loans. We would like to give quality education to lower middle class and middle class people at affordable rates of fees. And it's an experiment. And we have spent a fair amount of money on the land. because Gurgaon requires 5 acres of land. They don't give permission to start a school, which is a good thing. So, you know, we have schools in Bombay with no playground, no facility. So it's a good thing, and we hope...
How many can we expect, sir? This is the first, it's the pilot?
For 1 year, 2 years, we'll concentrate on building this, and we'll see next year. We don't have plans. I don't want to say we are doing more at the moment.